both way or many way. So it is more or less, if it is the participative matter, then that maintaining of harmonious relations will be better.
Absolutely. Participative leadership is very, very important.
As one person who is commanding or who is on top in any organization may not be perfect in all type of knowledge. So the knowledge, the person having knowledge should be given more focus and should be respected.
Absolutely.
And ideas to be implemented. And I also found that these are very useful.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, sir. Wonderful input. Last input for this talent, Virendra Pal Singh sir से. Virendra Pal Singh sir, कैसे हैं आप sir? Sir, आपको unmute करना पड़ेगा. Thank you. Sir, what's your strength area and what's your area of focus when we talk about building strong relationships?
First of all, make a relation with the troops, harmony with kind heart.
Hanji sir.
Find out their weakness.
Okay.
And remove their weakness and build turn into their strength.
That means sir, आप बात कर रहे हैं coaching और mentoring की यहाँ पे?
जी.
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल sir. That's a very, very great point that you have brought to notice. Coaching and mentoring बहुत important है अपनी team के साथ relationships build करने में. Very nice. What else sir, Virendra sir?
बाकी तो फिर personal examples होते हैं,
study
करते हैं और जो चीज कोई प्रॉब्लम आती है सामने उसको sort out करने में हमेशा आगे रहना.
Absolutely. So, sir, very valid 2 points we've got from Virendra sir, coaching and lead by example. The discussion can go endless, but since we have to cover an overview of all the talents, we shall be moving ahead to the next talent. And Arvind, over to you on how to develop organization.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so now, now so far, we were developing our talents, which are going to help us in our personal capacity. Now, we go and start looking things from more of an organizational perspective. So when I say develop organization, what comes to your mind? आप लोगों के दिमाग में क्या आता है when I say develop organization? एक organization point of view से हमारा क्या योगदान हो सकता है? हमारे actions, how do our actions impact our organization?
We are organization. We are part of organization.
Right.
We form up organization.
Okay. So Giri sir, actually, yeah. So this actually brings a very interesting question to my mind. We are the organization. So is our job only to execute orders, or our job goes a little beyond that? एक हमारे ऊपर order आता है, we have to whatever instructions are there, we have to execute the instructions. Apart from that, is there any role and responsibility that we can take?
You name any damn thing, that is our role and responsibility. Because commanding troops involves a lot of things. Giving orders is only one aspect of that. Apart from that, administration, because as I said, we have to look after many things. Operations, of course, are priority. But operations alone cannot go on without other complementary things like administration, welfare, discipline, all, and training, of course. So there are different pillars, which all are the responsibility of the commandant. The institution. Commandant is not only a rank, it's an appointment and institution itself. Because and commandant in police, SHO, and forces commandant, they are the most powerful persons. So with power comes responsibility also.
Exactly.
Because power cannot be enjoyed without responsibility. So giving orders is only one aspect.
Yeah, of course. So giving orders and taking orders. So taking orders and giving orders.
And you cannot give orders if you can't take orders in right spirit.
Absolutely.
And implementing orders is another ball game, different ball game altogether.
Right. Right. Like, so, but like, as you said, that a commandant is an institution in itself. So what about institutionalizing new norms, institutionalizing new ideas, institutionalizing new concepts in the organization, which are going to help the organization in present and future?
Yes, any concept has to be in consonance with the organizational goals.
Mm-hmm.
Then only it can be productive. It should
Right.
not.
Right. So like this, so the first thing is that we have to see that, like, is there an alignment between our idea and the goal of the organization?
Capacity building, of course, has to be there. Then only organization as whole will prosper and will go ahead.
Right. So capacity building, like training and capacity building, is a very important aspect here.
Yes.
Right. So thank you so much. And I'm also looking at the chat window. So you should keep on contributing with new ideas to develop the organization. Absolutely, Antarayami sir. And when we are doing on 15th, like I have a dedicated session with you on innovation. And when we discuss innovation, we are going to be discussing these new ideas in detail. So basically, like how we can go about implementing these new ideas, what are the challenges, how we should overcome those challenges. So we're going to be discussing that in detail, and it is going to be a very interesting session. Yeah. So of course. So, and then like training under your command. So thank you, Rotela sir, for mentioning that. Or Giri sir ने तो already capacity building की बात कही दी थी. Giving clear-cut direction in the state of confusion. Absolutely, clarity becomes very important. तो ये हम लोगों ने पहले भी देखा था कि clarity and specificity are very important. That like in a state of confusion, in a state of emergency, in a state of contingency, it is very important for us to give clear orders. Yeah, that is very important. Focus on follow-ups after giving advice. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, once we give advice, we have to follow up as well. Yeah, that what are the repercussions of those advice? Okay, so those are some very interesting inputs. So those are very interesting inputs. So let us try to, yeah, and we should be ready to take up negative feedback, right? To grow an organization, hamisha, it is not always gardens and rainbows. Sometimes, like we meet thorns and, things in the way. So like we have to deal with them also. So thank you very much. Like those were great inputs. अब हम लोग ये again like we will do a little psychometric assessment. ये हमारे 8 questions हैं जैसे हम लोगों ने पहले किया था. Let us try to do these as well, and let us try to understand that what are our personal strengths and weaknesses when it comes to developing an organization.
Sorry, I'm really sorry to interject. I think we deserve a break, sirs deserve a break, and you do too. So we can just have a small 10-minute break if you don't mind.
Yes, that's needed.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can have a 10-minute break and then resume with the psychometric. I just wanted to, let's have the break so that we don't have that disconnect.
Okay. So we'll have a 10-minute break. Yeah, and it's a much needed break as well. So it's 4:13 right now. We'll come back at 5. We'll come back at 4:23.
4:23. Yeah.
4:23. And yeah, in the meanwhile, and after that, like we're going to take a look at the psychometric also. So most of you have already done the psychometric, but we'll come and we'll start discussing this. Okay, so ये psychometric मेरे ख्याल से आप लोगों ने कर लिया था. तो let us quickly discuss the strengths and weaknesses. तो आपको कौन सा ऐसा लगता है, कौन सा ऐसा point है जो आपका area of improvement है, कौन सा ऐसा point है जो आपका strength है, इसके बारे में हम लोग एक जल्दी से एक चर्चा कर लेते हैं. कि when it comes to developing the organization, हम लोगों ने ये pointers यहाँ पर देखे और we see that and I'm seeing the scores out here. तो यहाँ पे एक काफी हमारे पास अच्छे scores आ रहे हैं. तो अजय जी थोड़ा सा आप बताइए कि कौन से एरियाज आपको ऐसा लगा कि जो थोड़े से आप इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं, कौन से ऐसे एरियाज हैं जो आप थोड़ा सा जिसमें आप सुदृढ़ हैं. Ajay ji?
Actually, Mr. Arvind, area regarding the organization, सभी इसके views और opinion को हमें जो है सुनने चाहिए और उसके ऊपर विचार करने चाहिए. जो भी अंडर कमांड है, तो ये है एक तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए, बेटर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए. और दूसरा जो है जो फीडबैक जो मिल रहा है ग्रुप्स की तरफ से, उसके ऊपर जो है फॉलो अप एक्शन करना चाहिए।
बिल्कुल, एब्सोल्युटली। लाख रुपए की बात कह दी आपने अजय सर, क्योंकि जो हमारा सागर है वो बूंद बूंद से बढ़ता है, वैसे ही जो हमारा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है वो एम्प्लॉय से बढ़ता है। केवल एक एम्प्लॉय ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं बना सकता है, एक लीडर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं बना सकता है, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पूरी फोर्स मिलकर बनाती है। इसलिए इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि जैसे वी हैव टू लिसन टू एवरी पर्सन इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ विच एवर लेवल द पर्सन इज इन। अगर वो नीचे वाला ग्राउंड लेवल पे, ग्रास रूट लेवल पे एक सिपाही भी है जो बॉर्डर की रक्षा कर रहा है, उसकी बात, उसका फीडबैक हम लोगों को लेना चाहिए। एंड एट द सेम टाइम ऊपर से जो हमारा फीडबैक आ रहा है, दैट इज आल्सो समथिंग दैट वी नीड टू कंसीडर।
Regarding
Mr. Arvind ji,
regarding the border domination, we are always asking the views and review of the border, कि कैसे बॉर्डर को और अच्छा इफेक्टिव मतलब डोमिनेशन, बॉर्डर पे अच्छा डोमिनेशन कैसे किया जाए। तो इस केस में भी हम अपने डिप्लॉयड ट्रूप्स होते हैं उनसे फीडबैक लेते हैं। फीडबैक लेने के बाद फिर उस पर जो है विचार करते हैं और उसमें जो चीजें अच्छी होती है उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। और इनोवेट करने का यही तरीका होता है कि पहला स्टेप जो होता है वो होता है एम्पथाइज। आप लोगों ने ये टर्म सुना होगा पहले, एम्पथी, कि हम लोग लोगों से बात करते हैं, उनसे पूछते हैं, उनकी तरह सोचने का प्रयास करते हैं। तो इसे ये बहुत जरूरी है कि अगर हम लोगों को अपना सिस्टम्स ठीक करने हैं और अच्छे करने हैं, if we want to bring in innovation in our organization, we have to listen to everyone. It's very important to listen, observe and understand. और जब हम लोग innovation का सेशन करेंगे तो इसके बारे में हम लोग एकदम विस्तार से चर्चा करेंगे, and it is going to be an interesting session. Okay, तो I'm looking at the chat window. तो मान सिंह सर कह रहे हैं कि strengths are clear in feedback, follow up and render advice whenever possible. Areas of focus is that, like sometimes we become too helpful. हाँ, राजेश जी आप कुछ कहना चाह रहे हैं?
सर, am I audible?
हाँ, of course, you're audible, sir.
अच्छा सर, जो आमतौर पर जो यूनिफॉर्म फोर्सेज हैं, इसमें एज ए सिविलियन अगर कोई बाहर से देखता है तो इसका ढांचा बड़ा कुछ डिफरेंट सा नजर आता है। बट जो हम जैसे इसमें काम करते हैं, इसके मेंबर हैं और हमारे पास काफी कुछ एक्सपीरियंस इसके बारे में। इसमें यहाँ पर क्या है कि वेल डिफाइंड टास्क और वो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज हैं, बट जब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी की बात आती है तो ये कुछ हद तक सेंट्रलाइज फॉर्म में दिखती है। जैसे सेक्शन is available here, platoon is available here, company is available here, and that इसके बाद नंबर आता है बटालियन का।
राइट।
डिपार्टमेंट कोई चीज पूछेगा तो वो सीधा बटालियन कमांडेंट की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होगी, और बटालियन कमांडेंट जब करेगा तो सीधा कंपनी, उससे नीचे वो भी नहीं जाता है। तो ये जो है डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन और सेंट्रलाइजेशन के बीच में जो एक प्रकार से सामंजस्य, कोऑर्डिनेशन है, इसको रिवाइव करने की जरूरत है।
राइट
जी,
राइट। और ये एक बहुत ही अच्छा इनपुट है राजेश जी, कि मतलब है कि एक सामंजस्य बनाना बहुत ही आवश्यक होता है, एक अलाइनमेंट क्रिएट करना इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट।
I'm talking about decentralization of responsibility. सबकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी डिफाइंड है। What the section commander has to do, what the platoon commander has to do, what the company commander has to do.
Exactly.
But जब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी की बात आएगी तो it is the commandant and only commandant. He is responsible.
Absolutely. So there is a charter of responsibilities that every level has to execute, and the stronger the charter is, the stronger the organization is going to perform.
But force का मोमेंटम कुछ इस तरह से पहले से बना है और आगे भी वो और सॉलिड होता जा रहा है। फॉर स्मॉल थिंग्स बटालियन कमांडेंट इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल, एंड बटालियन कमांडेंट भी जब कहेगा नीचे जाएगा वो तो अपने सिर्फ वन स्टेप डाउन जाएगा, उससे नीचे उसकी बात नहीं है। मींस प्लाटून एंड सेक्शन एग्जिस्टेंस ऐसे तो एग्जिस्ट कर रहा है, बट फिजिकली शायद न के बराबर है।
I understand, sir. I understand. So these are like on ground challenges that we come across. कि हमारा जैसे है कि एक डिलिनेशन हो जाता है रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी का, और जैसे अभी हम चैट पे भी यहाँ पर देख रहे हैं
ये इसको
you-
इसको अगर
during
उस
the
पॉइंट में डेवलप किया जाए, इट इज लाइक ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल डिमेरिट्स के तौर पर कुछ एक चीजें निकल के आई, तो इसको एक प्रकार से डिमेरिट्स में या चैलेंजेस में इसको किया जा सकता है।
एग्जैक्टली इसलिए से इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, जैसे आपने कहा, बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट आपने रेज किया कि जैसे केवल मेरिट्स नहीं, हम लोगों को डिमेरिट्स भी देखने हैं। अगर हम लोग डिमेरिट्स नहीं देखेंगे, विल नॉट बी एबल टू फिक्स। so thank you very much sir for mentioning that. And now what we are going to do is I'll quickly take a look at the chat window. So we have pick up all the positive thoughts irrespective of rank and organization, improve it. I need to give priority to developing others at the same time, deal with difficult conversation. Absolutely. I can't agree. Okay, so now like yeah, so for developing the organization, so रमेश जी अगर आप थोड़ा सा म्यूट कर दें, तो रमेश जी अगर आप थोड़ा सा म्यूट कर दें, थैंक यू सर।
कर दिया।
हाँ एक्चुअली सर आप दो उससे लॉग्ड इन है, तो
मैं नेटवर्क का इशू है ना, नेटवर्क।
Right, sir. Okay, so basically, like, you know, the underlying fact about developing the organization is that developing the organization is a collective responsibility, and every person, every individual, irrespective of the fact that which role he or she is in, we should be collectively working towards developing an organization. Or we'll have like several sessions where we are going to be talking about organizational aspects, कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के मेरिट्स क्या हैं और डिमेरिट्स क्या हैं, सेंट्रलाइजेशन, डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन, फीडबैक, गुड फीडबैक, बैड फीडबैक, इन सब के ऊपर हम लोग फोकस करने वाले हैं. सो टुडे इज ओनली द ओवरव्यू, सो वी विल नॉट गेट इनटू द डिटेल्स ऑफ दैट, बट व्हेन इंडिविजुअल सेशंस हैपन, we are going to discuss all of these aspects in detail, and we are going to give you tools which are going to help you, you know, define like your strategy. And now we move on to our next area, next talent, that is mastering innovation and change, and Pooja ma'am is going to take this.
Thank you, Arvind, and fantastic discussions that have been going on so far, and with your togetherness, with your inputs, we move forward to the next talent, which is 6th in the row, and that is how do you master innovation and change. अब नया इनोवेशन करना सिर्फ जरूरी नहीं है, छोटे छोटे डे टू डे वर्क में न्यू वेज को अपनाना, नए तरीके काम के जो आपकी अंडर कमांड के लिए ज्यादा इंजॉयबल हो सकते हैं, ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग हो सकते हैं. लाइक वन ऑफ द सीनियर कमांडेंट्स सेड इन द मॉर्निंग दैट द वर्क इज मोनोटोनस एंड इट्स अ बिगर चैलेंज. The number of hours is too long and it's a challenge. तो हम जो हमारा मोनोटोनस काम है, probably हम उसको अपसाइड डाउन नहीं कर सकते, but yes, हम रूटीन में कुछ चेंजेस इंट्रोड्यूस करके, डेफिनेटली विद न्यू वेज, न्यू इंटरेस्टिंग वेज ऑफ डूइंग वर्क, we can bring some minor changes even, which will be helpful. And yes, when you move up in your leadership hierarchy, definitely mastering the art of innovation is very, very important. जब हर जगह टेक्नोलॉजी यूज हो रही है, आई एम श्योर इन फोर्सेस आल्सो a lot of new technological changes, new innovations would be there. Can we have some inputs, you know, on any of the latest innovation in the forces which has changed the way it works? Any latest thing from any one of you? क्या आपके फोर्सेस में लेटेस्ट इनोवेशंस हुई हैं जिन्होंने आपका काम करने का तरीका कुछ चेंज करा है? अश्वनी सर, आई थिंक यू वांट टू स्पीक हियर.
Yes, ma'am, there are a lot many innovations which has enhanced the force capability and domination of the borders, like the use of CCTVs in various areas where we had the static operational OPs are placed, observation posts are placed, and humans are basically the troops are manning that, and that eases out some of our burden. That's one of the thing. And the new thing which is happening up, basically few people are thinking about replacing the OPs by the cameras and everything, and having a network centric command post, so that the pressure on troops can be eased out. But there are a lot of challenges into that. So these are few innovative things. And like the man management also, there are many things in the man management which are taking place in terms of changes. As far as you know, the society has changed, and we are getting the troops from the new age, Gen X.
So you have more and
constituents.
more of the younger generation coming in.
Yes, basically the people who are joining the forces at the younger level is 19 or 20 years old.
Yeah, and managing those
So
again is a challenge.
Yes, the social media influence and those things. Say we had put in 26 years of service, and when we had joined as a young officers in the organizations, we had those matlab, joint family system. The
Absolutely,
people who
sir.
are senior to us, the joint family systems are there, so there are very less family issues were there. But
अब ज्यादा
as
है.
this next Gen X is coming, they had issues, so we just have to
और
innovate to
सर
deal with
और सर जो नई मिलेनियल जनरेशन भी जो आ रही है उसकी एक्सपेक्टेशंस भी बहुत डिफरेंट हैं, उनके चैलेंजेस भी बहुत डिफरेंट हैं, एंड द वे दे लुक एट थिंग्स, द माइंडसेट इज वेरी डिफरेंट.
Exactly, family level मैं बताता हूँ मैम. Now the constabulary we are getting as a new constables, 80% of them are graduates.
Yes.
And they married to the girls who are more qualified than them. So,
Absolutely.
They are getting
Times are
40,000
changing.
rupees, 40,000 rupees per month a job as a constable in BSF. Initial starting. ठीक है नहीं? And the girl who is BTech, ठीक है नहीं? He has to marry a BTech person or MTech person. उसकी salary मुश्किल 30-35 हजार रुपए initial होगी. If he is there. So that's way. These are the challenges when we have to deal with the people who had got the serious family issues.
Absolutely.
Which were not earlier.
और सर ये challenges दिखते easy हैं, but they are very difficult to tackle and to deal with.
Madam, these are very sensitive issues, ma'am. Very sensitive issues.
Yes, Ashwini sir, very rightly said. Arun sir, बहुत देर से कुछ कहना चाह रहे हैं. Arun sir, we look forward to your views.
इस मॉडर्न टेक्नोलॉजी में मैं एक पॉइंट ऐड करना चाह रहा था.
हाँ जी सर.
हमारे पास जो फोन आ गए, स्मार्टफोन ये सब आ गए हैं, तो उनकी जो मैंने करंट टू करंट सिचुएशन है ना, उससे वो अवगत हो जाते हैं. मतलब कि जैसे घर पे उसके कुछ झगड़े फसाद हुए और वो तुरंत जो है उसका करता है.
सर अब उसको दोनों तरफ से भी तो टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करनी पड़ेगी. आप काम के लिए करवा रहे हैं तो घर के लिए भी यूज हो रही है.
मैं ये कह रहा था, पहले अर्लियर क्या होता था कि कोई भी चीज घर पे होती थी तो उसको पहुंचने में हमारे पास बहुत समय लगता था, और तब तक कुछ न कुछ उसका सोल्यूशन ऑलरेडी हो चुका रहता था. लेकिन अब क्या होता है कि घर में छोटी सी बात के लिए इंस्टेंट कुछ बातें हो जाती है, वो तुरंत उसके पास पहुंच जाती है. दे बिकम वेरी स्ट्रेसफुल. जितने भी अंडर कमांड्स हैं, जिनके पास भी इस तरह की चीजें आती है, वो इतने स्ट्रेस में आ जाता है कि ही समथिंग ही कैन डू एनीथिंग ही कैन डू.
I get your point, sir. और सर बड़ी impressionable age में भी ये लोग in the young age they join the forces.
हाँ, ये मैच्योर होते नहीं हैं, और ये लोग जो है इससे फोन ने और उनकी जो हमारे जो ड्यूटी का सिचुएशंस हैं उसमें ये इतने अंडर स्ट्रेस रहते हैं कि उसका सॉल्यूशन निकालने के लिए किसी से ना कम्युनिकेट कर पाते हैं बहुत बढ़िया से, ना किसी से गाइडेंस ले पाते हैं. तो ये सब चैलेंजेस हम लोग को बहुत फेस करना पड़ रहा है, बहुत ज्यादा.
आप लोगों को आई एम श्योर यू नो in such situations your leadership style has to be the father figure, because then only you can get their trust.
यहीं पे ये लीडरशिप की क्वालिटी होती है कि कैसे उनके साथ हम इतना कनेक्टेड हो रहे हैं कि वो हमें इमीडिएटली अपने सीनियर को बोल सके, या नहीं तो हम लोग को जैसे जिस चेयर पे है वहां पे हमको इजी एक्सेसिबल हो सके, हमसे बात कर सके.
Absolutely. Sir, पिछले अरविंद, if you remember the last batch of BSF, वहाँ एक सर ने, आनंद सर थे, he said कि मैम मेरी एक फैमिली नहीं है, I have 1080 families with me together. So you know, handling you yourself and your family and another 1200 families which are added, and you act as a father figure, definitely a very challenging role.
Madam, ये I would like to also add some, because one commanding officer is not dealing the 1200 men. Multiply by 4.
Absolutely, sir.
So, and his all kinds of the problem is the problem of the commandant.
Absolutely. Bigger challenge, sir. तो sir, इस वाली situation में आपका innovative style क्या रहता है? This is what we want to know. आप क्या थोड़े से डिफरेंट चेंजेस करते हैं अपने डीलिंग स्टाइल में जो सक्सेसफुल हो? व्हाट काइंड ऑफ चेंजेस यू इंट्रोड्यूस?
Changes, no, we try to address the problem on a spot as possible soon, either in the headquarter or the visiting by the borders.
Okay.
And whosoever want to meet at any place of moment or the time. So because the office of the commandant not only in the office, even commandant office running wherever the is moving, as the Mr. Giri has already said that the commandant is not a person, it is the institution itself. Is the moving either from here to wherever he goes in the area of the responsibility.
Yes, yes,
That
rightly,
is the
rightly
thing.
said, rightly said.
मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि हमारे पास ड्यूटी के चैलेंज ही बड़े हैं। जैसे पहले बात हुई थी ड्यूटी के क्या क्या चैलेंज हुए हैं। अभी जो काउंटर पार्ट की तरफ से ड्रोन की एक्टिविटी ज्यादा बढ़ी है। ड्रोन की एक्टिविटी होने के कारण हमें ड्यूटी का पैटर्न चेंज करना पड़ा है। जो हमारे HHT लगी है, CC कैमरे लगे हैं, बुलेट कैमरे लगे हैं, उन पे हम ध्यान ना देके बॉर्डर से जीरो लाइन से 2 किलोमीटर 3 किलोमीटर पीछे हमारी ड्यूटी ज्यादा बढ़ गई है इस समय। उससे हमें पुलिस की मदद लेनी पड़ी है। इसलिए मदद लेनी पड़ी है कि पीछे जो है हीरोइन, हथियार और जितने भी नारकोटिक्स पदार्थ हैं, जैसे चर्च भी हो गया, उसमें सारे ड्रोन के माध्यम से आ रहे हैं। तो अभी पुलिस के साथ मीटिंग हुई, कोऑर्डिनेशन मीटिंग हुई थी। पुलिस ने पहले जो हमारे इलाके में दो पॉइंट देते थे, अभी इन्होंने पॉइंट ज्यादा बढ़ा दिए, इसके 4 गुना कर दिए। तो ड्यूटी का पैटर्न तो ये बड़ा है। रही इसमें अभी अब बात चल रही थी कि हम जवानों को कैसे वेलफेयर कर सकते हैं, फैमिली को कैसे वेलफेयर करते हैं। सबसे ज्यादा हमारे लिए वेलफेयर जो लेने वाली है वो महिला, हमारी बटालियन में 60 महिलाएं हैं। उनसे ड्यूटी करवाना एक हमारे लिए चैलेंज है। चैलेंज का मतलब कभी तो ये बोलते हैं कि हम 6 घंटे ड्यूटी करें, कभी 8 घंटे लगा दी तो उनके लिए परेशानी हो जाती है। तो हमें 8 घंटे कम से कम ड्यूटी लेनी ही पड़ेगी उनसे। फिर ये किया जाता है कि जो अनमैरिड हैं उनको बॉर्डर पे रखा जाता है, यानी 50% हमारी महिला बॉर्डर पे रहती है, और जो चाइल्ड बच्चे वाली हैं उनको हेडक्वार्टर में रखा जाता है। उसके बाद भी काफ़ी प्रॉब्लम है, आप जानते हैं। ये एक ड्यूटी का चैलेंज के साथ साथ हम उनको वेलफेयर भी दे रहे हैं, भाई चलो आप हेडक्वार्टर में ड्यूटी कर लो, और लेकिन अच्छे से ड्यूटी करनी पड़ेगी। वेलफेयर ये भी देख रहे हैं कि छुट्टी आपको टाइम पे दी जाएगी, हर चीज टाइम पे दी जाएगी। जैसे बात हम अपने आसपास की बटालियन के जवान जो यहाँ रह रहे हैं उनकी फैमिली की भी देख रेख करते हैं। अभी मेरे पास ENO से फोन आया था CO साहब का, भाई हमारी एक जवान की माता जी के ये कुल्ले की हड्डी टूट गई। तो हमने अपने यहाँ से एम्बुलेंस भेजी, अपना फार्मासिस्ट भेजा, उसको आयुष्मान कार्ड के द्वारा फ्री ऑफ कास्ट में पार्वती हॉस्पिटल में अमृतसर में भर्ती करवाया। तो हम अपने जो जितनी BSF की फैमिली है, अपनी फैमिली समझ के ही उनकी देखभाल करते हैं।
हाँ जी दास सर, बिल्कुल सही, आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा। और जैसे जैसे
वर्कफोर्स करना चाहूंगा।
हाँ जी सर,
मैं इसमें ऐड करना चाहूंगा मैम कि ये जो 1200 फैमिली हैं वो एक सोसाइटी से नहीं है, यहाँ पे ऑल ओवर
बैकग्राउंड से हैं,
अलग अलग बैकग्राउंड से, अलग अलग स्टेट से हैं, अलग अलग सोसाइटी से, मोर देन 100 सोसाइटीज आप कह सकते हैं। तो उनके साथ डील करना बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट होता है। कौन से इन्वायरमेंट से आए हैं, क्या उनकी सोच है, उनकी रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है, बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट टास्क।
बिल्कुल 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 अशोक सर, वेरी राइट। मैं चैट्स की इनपुट जो पढ़ रही हूँ, राकेश कुमार यादव जी ने लिखा है इनोवेशंस आर अ प्रायोरिटी इन फोर्सेस। और बहुत सारी इनोवेशंस हो रही हैं जिनसे ट्रूप्स का वर्कलोड भी कम हुआ है।
मैम गुड आफ्टरनून।
गुड आफ्टरनून सर।
Ma'am, another problem that we are facing these days is the marital discord amongst the families. This is one challenge that is engulfing all the battalions, and all the commandants are engaged into that. Like in my battalion, I have got at least 10 to 15 families, especially the new boys who have been married, and they are facing the marital discord, and suddenly, all of a sudden, the commandant is made a party to that. Like the wife files a case and the commandant is made responsible कि उसके साथ में उससे हमें पैसा दिलवाओ, उससे जो है हमें मेंटेनेंस दिलवाओ।
चेंजिंग सिनेरियो बहुत टफ है आप लोगों के लिए। What we understand, Arvind.
The individual is marrying, the lady is marrying, the commandant is not a party in that. But the moment that there is a marital discord, the commandant is made a party.
Yes, sir.
So this
शादी
is
में तो नहीं
another
बुलाया,
challenge.
but problems में बुलाया है, sir. That's right, sir. But it is easier said than done. We understand the intricacies of the issue. Now, taking it further, अब देखते हैं हम अपने आप का self analysis.
Pooja ma'am.
हाँ जी, sir.
Pooja ma'am, I want to say. Pooja ma'am, I want to say something.
Please, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Innovative idea.
हाँ जी, sir. बताइए.
इसमें as I told earlier, my battalion is deployed in Kolibada, Chhattisgarh area, and
हाँ जी.
on 28th March this year, ID blast हुआ था, जिसमें हमारे एक बंदे की दोनों आंख चली गई थी, और हाँ, और इसमें जो है एक बंदे के दोनों पैर उसमें खराब हो गए थे. तो एट दैट टाइम वी वर थिंकिंग कि व्हाट वी कैन डू, कि आंख जो है हम लोग के जवानों के एटलीस्ट अगर इनकेस आईडी ब्लास्ट में आता.
हाँ जी. हाँ जी सर, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
और इसमें सर्च किया, और इसमें गूगल से भी, और हमारे ये हमारे आईजी सर और बाकी लोग भी मिलकर के इस चीज को देखे, और उन्होंने एक जो है हमारे इसके रिगार्डिंग जो है एक गूगल्स खरीदवाए थे, जिसका नाम है बैलिस्टिक कम्बैट गूगल्स. ये जो है इनकेस अगर आईडी ब्लास्ट होता है तो उसमें जो है अगर चश्मा पहना रहे तो आंखों का बचाव हो सकता है. तो अभी हमारे पूरे एनओ थिएटर में जो है अभी हमारी पलटन है जो कि 50 गॉगल्स खरीदी है एक इनोवेटिव आइडिया की तौर से, और फिलहाल इसको जो है इसका पॉजिटिव रिजल्ट भी आ रहा है. तो इसको हम लोग फीडबैक भी दिया है कि it should be purchased by all unit deployed in जो है थिएटर. तो ये क्योंकि कोई भी कहीं भी किसी के साथ ये आईडी ब्लास्ट के जो है वो हो सकता है किसी भी इलाके में, तो ये हम लोग का एक अच्छा पहल रहा है, और इससे जो है आई थिंक एक इनोवेटिव आइडिया है जो कि सभी को इसको
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सर, और बहुत ही अच्छे आइडियाज कोर्सेज में इम्प्लीमेंट हो रहे हैं. थैंक यू फॉर शेयरिंग विद अस सर. एंड यही इनोवेशन की हम बात करना चाहते हैं, छोटी चीजें जो आपके एक वर्क एनवायरनमेंट को और बेहतरीन बना दे. स्मॉल बट गुड चेंजेस व्हिच मेक योर फोर्स मोर वर्केबल, मोर एंजॉयबल एट द सेम टाइम एंड मोर सेफ. सो लेट्स क्विकली रेट आवरसेल्व्स. फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट है आर्टिकुलेट द नीड फॉर चेंज. आप एज अ लीडर आइडेंटिफाई कर पाए कि चेंज किस एरिया में जरूरी है. देन यू क्रिएट अ क्लाइमेट फॉर इनोवेशन विद इन योर टीम्स, योर अंडर कमांड्स. गिव प्रेज टू न्यू आइडियाज. क्या आप अप्रिशिएट करते हैं या नहीं करते हैं. देन यू योरसेल्फ एज अ लीडर यू नो यू चैलेंज कि मैं ट्रेडिशनल कन्वेंशनल व्यूज को चैलेंज करता हूं. नेक्स्ट है ब्रिंग इनसाइट from outside the business. Means जो भी वर्ल्ड में बेस्ट हो रहा है, not only in terms of BSF, but whatever are the best practices that can be incorporated in BSF, you try to work and think about it and take it upwards. Next and the last one is work with others to develop their ideas. आप encourage करते हैं अपनी टीम में idea generation को. So let's rate ourselves on these 6 statements and see what are your strength areas in these terms and what are your areas of improvement. एट अश्विनी जी ने दिया है, वीरेंद्र सर ने 8.5, अंतर्यामी सर ने 8.3, अशोक सर 8.5. Okay, so let's those who have already done the rating, let's see what are your areas of strength. Let me start with Antaryami sir. Antaryami sir, one area of strength and one area of focus, if you can share with us for this talent. Can we hear from you, sir?
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Very well, listen to you. And my strength areas is that I always encourage others, our subordinates, our colleagues, to articulate their views. And I also depend upon communication, better communication with my subordinates, my colleagues, whether we are having different channels of communication.
Okay.
Like we are holding Sainik Sammelan on monthly basis.
Yes.
We are also giving personal audience to them. We are also receiving a lot of numerous
grievances. The grievances, like some of them are having problems at their home. They are having land issues. They are having so many other issues. We are responding and we are articulating our views. We are making them understand the nitty-gritties of the legal issues and so on and so forth. This is my area of strength.
Okay, sir. Can we have, sir, your area of focus, which you have identified, sir?
Yeah, I think I should maximize my communication with the last man on the COV. Here I am in the ANO scenario, anti-Naxal scenario.
Okay.
We are not having BOP, just like on the international border. We are having COV. So sometimes we visit on the COV and the man is out on some duty, so I am not able to meet him. So some people are left out. So those are the areas. Some people I am not able to communicate. So this is my area of focus. I am trying to maximize my interface with them, my interaction with them.
Absolutely, absolutely, sir. Thank you. Supriya sir has written he is in receptive mode from all ranks. Supriya sir, what is your one area of focus? If you can help us know that.
Actually, ma'am, we have to flexible, and in the we have to accept any suggestions either without restricting good, bad from our under command and our colleagues. And in that continuation, like Mr. Ghansam Das has specified, our area is also prone to drone dropping area. And as I work in factory, so I have already worked in night shift. So I introduce night shift practices in our hour for 72 hours. Means those who will do night shift, there will be not any type of Adam and off duty during daytime. And that gives us a better result, better dominations. And secondly, I also encourage our men for mobile, and to mobile means to dominate in their hour. I already introduce some type of attachment with motorcycles in which our LMG can got fitted. And thus again, it is with their it was made in-house only, not from any outsourcings. It also comes from the person who work as a welder in MT. So I stand with them, I discuss with them, and twice or thrice he tried, but at the last stage we succeeded to incorporate that modification in the motorcycles without harming basic function of motorcycles. So it is always welcome when we involve our men with our modalities.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Supriya sir, for sharing your thoughts on this. Pramod sir has also written a message on the chat that so many new gadgets are being introduced. Pramod sir, my last question to you here is, before we proceed to the next talent, what is your area of focus for innovation and change? Pramod ji. Are you there, Pramod ji? We've just had your chat message. I think he's facing some technical issue. Okay, with this, we can summarize this talent, innovation, and change. You all would agree is very, very important with time, especially looking at your workforce challenges, new people coming in, people of different age groups are there, more females entering the forces, the people coming from different background, the challenges enhance and it requires change in the way of working of the forces. And a lot of innovations are taking place. Your adaptability for those innovations and for new technologies is very, very important, and that's what is going to make you a great adaptable leader. So keep a track of what you want to focus on and what your strength area is. Definitely in the days ahead we will be again focusing in separate sessions on this. Now, taking the discussions ahead, we move on to our last talent, where I would request Arvind to please discuss on how you can bring out the best in yourself. Over to you, Arvind.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And it was a very interesting conversation on innovation. Actually, I was also listening very carefully and I was also making notes because on 15th, I will be taking the session on innovation. So we are going to be discussing all of these aspects in details. And we are going to be providing you many tools and frameworks through which like you can drive not only innovation from a technology perspective, but also like, build innovation in the process. So yeah, so we're going to be having a very good conversation on that on the 15th. So हम making sure that okay. Okay. So now like this is like the last talent that we are going to be discussing today. And since the time is running short, so I will not spend a lot of time on this. So this is the last talent, that is to bring out the best in ourselves and best in our men. तो हमारे जितने भी अंडर कमांड है, how we can inspire them to give their best and how we can bring the best of ourselves. हम लोग किस तरह से अपने टॉप परफॉर्मेंस पे काम कर सकें, अपने पीक परफॉर्मेंस पे काम कर सकें, and we also make sure that the people who are working under us also perform their best. So here is a small psychometric. Let us solve the psychometric like the way we did it before, and then we can have a small discussion around it before we move on to the other parts. So I'll just again, like there are 8 questions that you should be able to perform under pressure. So are you able to perform under pressure? What keeps going? You are able to keep going in the face of setbacks. You are able to manage your own energy efficiently. आपकी एनर्जी कभी डाउन नहीं होती है, मतलब आप जब भी आपकी एनर्जी डाउन होती है आप उसको मैनेज कर सकते हैं. Actively looks for opportunities for development. Recognizes your talent in the role. Personal enjoyment as well as achievement of work, that you enjoy whatever you're doing. So every day is a new day for you and every day is a party for you. So rather than thinking that, like we are going to a battlefield, if we are going to the office, like we see that, like this is like another fun day that is coming across. Express gratitude, like are we grateful for like whatever our organization has bestowed upon us, and recognize the stressors and managers at their impact. So basically, like we understand that what are the stressful points and what is the impact that they are going to cause and how well we are able to manage the stressful situation. Okay, so I can see like the scores have started to pour in. Or is area में मतलब है all of you are doing pretty well. So now let us quickly start discussing the positives and the areas of improvement here. तो कौन से जैसे आप लोगों के साथ मतलब है कि when it comes to your own individual style of working, so what do you think are the areas of improvement here? So what do you think are the areas of improvement? Supriya ji, आपसे थोड़ा सुन सकते हैं?
Too much of unwarranted pressure.
Too much of unwarranted pressure. All right, sir. Of course.
Managing own energy is another issue.
Okay. So आप गिरी साहब आप क्या करते हैं जब आपकी एनर्जी थोड़ी सी डाउन हो जाती है तो आप क्या करते हैं?
Normally I go for games.
Okay. Yeah, of course. So games in the sense like you go in for sports or you go in for indoor games?
Indoor games, at times video games also.
Okay. So games is actually a very good stress buster.
Yes.
Yeah. Some people like actually listen to music. Some people go and watch movies. Some people, practice meditation, spirituality. So like, all of them are very good stress busters. We actually like we divert our mind. थोड़ा सा mind हम लोग अपने main काम से divert करके we let it relax. We let it become like a little fresh. Of course. Okay, so managing stressors is like one of the areas where most of the people kind of struggle with. So that is one thing that like we'll be also focusing in this training program. Chasing unrealistic timeline. Okay, Chandrasekhar sir, changing unrealistic timeline. This is actually a very important factor because as we had already mentioned, the things in forces is unpredictable. So the situations can be unpredictable, and sometimes, and since the situations are unpredictable, the timelines that come across are also unpredictable. तो चंद्रशेखर सर इसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा आप elaborate कर सकते हैं कि like what are exactly the challenges that come while implementing when chasing and you know are not a very good timeline.
इसका सर इन्वर्टर कनेक्शन चेंज करना पड़ेगा सर, जब बार-बार बिजली जाता है ना सर, उस समय बंद होने
हो जाता है, बंद हुआ है।
हाँ, फिर इन्वर्टर
Yeah. Okay. So what else do you think are the areas? So what do you think like are the good areas, good points here, or areas of strengths? जो इसमें हम लोग जैसे we are really good at when it comes to bringing the best in you. One thing I can say about BSF forces है कि आप लोग pressure बहुत अच्छी तरह से handle कर सकते हैं. Pressure आप लोग बहुत अच्छी तरह से handle कर सकते हैं. I'm sure like उस पे ज़्यादातर लोगों के 9 आए होंगे.
ऐसे ही कर रहे हैं.
Arvind, and one more thing, you know, what we saw from the beginning of the session, they take pride in whatever they are doing. That's a very important strength in their leadership.
Exactly.
They're passionate for their jobs. Another, you know, from my perspective, what I can see is each of the commandant here is so passionate and they are so loving for their under commands. They are taking care of their family. So these are their great areas which bring out the best out of them.
Exactly. So it is not like the professional side of it. There is also like a personal and an emotional side of it.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So like emotional. So like you know, like in corporate psychology, we call this effectiveness. Yeah, like there's something known as the psychological quotient or the emotional quotient. तो हमारे IQ के साथ हमारा EQ भी होता है. तो जिनका EQ high होता है, they're able to handle stressful situations very well. Emotional quotient. So we're going to be discussing all of these concepts in detail. अभी तो हमारे पास बहुत time है, आज तो पहला ही दिन है. So I'll quickly take a look at the chat window. Enhancing the adaptability of the troops. Okay. Enhancing the adaptability of the troops. That is okay. Like that could be one of the challenges out here. Whenever the headquarters ask for any task, they always expect immediate completion of task. That is there everywhere. So ये तो हर जगह है कि immediately task complete करना है. So like you know like so there are it is very important. So it is very important that you know like to meet. So to meet the requirements with zero error, it is very important कि हमारे systems में कुछ ऐसी चीजें होनी चाहिए so that we'll be able to like meet the demands very promptly, very spontaneously. That's why in corporate side there is something known as automation. So like there is some level of automation that takes place in the systems कि automatically जब भी कोई demand आती है उसको हम लोग बहुत जल्दी fix कर सकते हैं. And this is also a part of innovation, that how we can automate the systems in such a way. Yeah, so how we can automate the systems in such a way that bring the best out of us and we are able to meet the requirements very quickly. और जब हम लोग innovation करेंगे तो हम लोग ये automation वाला part भी cover करेंगे कि कैसे हम लोग अपने systems में ज़्यादा spontaneity डाल सकते हैं. अगर हमारे पास कोई request आती है तो उसको हम लोग किस तरह से जल्दी address कर सकते हैं. So we are going to be discussing all of that in detail also. And the other factors also build pressure on us, of course. Supriya sir.
This happen in force only if something is going very smooth, and there are many factors that is either within or outside the ambit. It creates pressure, automatically pressurize the system. So we are always experienced with working in pressure only. Exactly. So it is our normal things.
Absolutely, sir. Because like the pressure is not always internal. The pressure is also external. Because in BSF, like you know, like we are working internally and we are working externally. We have internal stakeholders and we have external stakeholders, and we have to deal with them simultaneously. So the pressure, like you know, pressure might be unwanted. It might be unwarranted. No matter how good our systems are. But we cannot control the environment around us. And this is a problem everywhere. COVID was such a situation wherein no matter good how our systems were, but we cannot control the environment. We cannot control the situation around us. So, but what we can do is that we can be prepared. And it is very important that as armed force personnel, that we are very prepared to, you know, deal with any kind of a situation that destiny throws at us.
Absolutely. And
yeah.
Arvind, just to add here to what Supriya sir said, pressure बहुत है सर, खाना भी आजकल प्रेशर कुकर में बन रहा है और हम सबकी लाइफ भी प्रेशर कुकर बन गई है। और जैसे अरविंद जी ने कहा, अब उस प्रेशर कुकर के अंदर हमें कैसे पकना है, ये हमें ही स्ट्रेटेजाइज करना है, क्योंकि प्रेशर तो कहीं भी नहीं जाएगा, प्रेशर तो डे बाय डे बिल्डअप होगा।
प्रेशर के बारे में एक बात कहना चाहूंगा।
हाँ जी सर, हाँ जी सर।
रेजिंग डे अभी पीछे था 1 दिसंबर को, तो मेरे को टास्क दिया गया कि आपने जो है 300 आदमी अपने कैंपस में ठहराने हैं।
ओके।
300 से बोला कि 500 ठहराने हैं, वैसे बढ़ता गया। मेरा ये मानना था कि आदमी ही ठहराने हैं, उनका खाने का पीने का सब प्रबंध करना। इसके बाद एक टास्क रेजिंग डे का और मिल गया कि आपके यहाँ जो है मंत्री जी ठहरेंगे बीओपी पे।
अच्छा।
एक प्रेशर और आ गया। फिर कह रहे हैं डीजी भी ठहरेंगे उसी बीओपी पे, एक प्रेशर और आ गया। फिर बोला एडिशनल डीजी भी ठहरेंगे बीओपी पे, तो एक प्रेशर और आ गया। ठहराना अलग बात है। फिर बोला कि सैनिक सम्मेलन भी होगा आपके यहाँ, एक प्रेशर और आ गया। फिर बोला कि आप ब्रीफिंग भी करोगे, एक प्रेशर और आ गया।
सर पुलाव बन गया सर प्रेशर कुकर में पूरा ही।
और लास्ट में इतना प्रेशर में जो काम हुआ है, अच्छा कह लो बुरा कह लो, और जो है मंत्री जी को बड़ा खाना हुआ, कल्चरल प्रोग्राम हुआ, वो भी बीओपी लेवल है। बीओपी पे शायद आप लोगों को नहीं पता, एक छोटा सा ही इलाका होता है, उस इलाके में खाना करना, सैनिक सम्मेलन करना, इतना प्रेशर डाल दिया और प्रेशर में काम कुदरती अच्छा हुआ। तो डीजी साहब ने, मंत्री साहब ने खुश होकर हमें कैश अवार्ड भी दिया, और जो डीजी कमेंडेशन कार्ड और जो ये रिवार्ड होता है वो भी हमें काफी मात्रा में मिले।
तो सर इसका मतलब घनश्याम सर प्रेशर में रिजल्ट अच्छे आ गए।
नंबर तो मैंने चेक किए,
होता ऐसा होता है।
वाह भाई घनश्याम जी, वाह बहुत अच्छे।
सर ये तो घनश्याम सर के लिए तालियां। अब घनश्याम सर कैश रिवॉर्ड हम सबके साथ शेयर करेंगे। घनश्याम सर हम सब आपको बैंक अकाउंट नंबर देंगे, आप कैश रिवॉर्ड शेयर करिएगा। This was just on a lighter note. Over to you, Arvind.
Okay, so yeah, so basically as we discussed, we all are living in a pressure cooker, and just as ma'am said that we have to keep strategizing. So it becomes very important for us to understand that what are, so basically the whole point of this exercise was to give you this overview, that we understand that what are our strengths and what are our areas of improvement. Usually what we have seen while doing BSF trainings is that BSF commandants are very good in certain areas and the areas of improvement are relatively lesser. Lekin what we can also think from one perspective is that strengths can also be improved. And there is actually a consulting company called Gallup. उन लोगों ने जैसे एक असेसमेंट निकाला है, एक मेथोडोलॉजी निकाली है कॉल्ड द स्ट्रेंथ टेस्ट, जिसपे हम लोग अपने स्ट्रेंथ्स को और डेवलप कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि स्ट्रेंथ्स को डेवलप करने की कोई सीमा नहीं होती है। So the crux of this entire exercise is that we understand that what are the areas that we have to focus on and what are our strengths, so we can develop our strengths further and we can work upon our areas of improvement. And I'm sure all of you have made a note of that, made a note of all the areas where which need to be focused and what are our strong areas. Throughout these trainings, we are going to be discussing these areas and we are going to be helping you create your own personal plan. And that is the ultimate output of this training, that you have a strong personal plan, how to go about moving forward, how to go about implementing all the tools and the frameworks that you have received in this training. And if you're able to implement and if you're able to get good results, we will feel that, we have done quite a good job with that.
Absolutely, yeah. Arvind, absolutely. Yeah. So what Arvind has rightly said, your action plans by the end of the 12 days program is the measure of our success. So just to debrief in few seconds, we discussed these seven talents today, and this is the base of your framework for the coming 12 days. Set direction to how you can execute, to another talent of motivating people, building strong relationships, what you can do to develop your organizations, how can you master the art of innovation, and above all, how can you bring the best side of yourself to the outside world. And yes, this is the comprehensive flow of the various sessions that would be that would be conducted every day. For example, that is day 2 tomorrow. We have these 3 sessions where the first session would focus on the impact that you want to have. Then how do you think about the big picture and how do you set goals? That is, if you look at it carefully, we are covering our very first talent, that is set direction. Accordingly, this is there in your handbook. Each day's schedule is given in detail, and these 12 days would be covering all the 7 talents one by one. So whatever strengths and areas of improvement that you have identified today for these talents, please keep it handy with you. Do discuss and deliberate with the respective coaches of the session and strategize what you can do to move yourself a step further towards enhanced leadership. With this, I would like to end with the quote given by Walter Lippmann. The final test of a leader is that he leaves behind him in other men the conviction and the will to carry on. And that is what is a true leader all about. With this, we come to the end, and I hope you enjoyed the session by me and Arvind. I would request Soumyadev to take over, but before I leave, I would like to say also on behalf of Arvind that we both really enjoyed your company here in this virtual session. We enjoyed being with you because of your togetherness, participation, and your energy levels. I think the session went on very well and the day passed on very smoothly. So thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Madam, I would like to know that you did your PhD program on what subject, which subject is either MBA or?
So you want to know about me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay. Sir, let me tell you a brief about myself. I am born, brought up in Delhi, sir. I am a Delhi University gold medalist from Hansraj College. Then I went on to do my MBA in human resources, and I did it from MBA from Pune University, Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, and then did my PhD also from Bharatiya Vidyapeeth after clearing my UGC net. So started working with the corporates. Out of my 20 years experience, 6 years I worked with multinational organizations. I was in the area of training and development, then did my international certifications in the area of training, and I'm also a certified trainer with Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs. And since last 9 years, I'm associated with Amity University as a professor and as a corporate trainer and a researcher.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Anything else, anybody? Because I feel it's very important. You should be knowing you
Arvind sir,
Arvind sir. Okay.
Arvind sir, please.
Okay.
I think Soumyadev has not done his job well. So what should be done in the starting has been done at the end. Arvind, please go ahead.
Okay. So I am an engineer by training. I did my engineering in instrumentation and control technology from JSS Academy of Technical Education. I completed my engineering with distinction with honors. I worked in the industry, like I was working with the IT companies. I worked with ACL Technologies. I worked with IBM. I worked with a company called Akamai Technologies for 7 years before I went to the US to complete my MBA. I did my MBA from Thunderbird School of Global Management in Phoenix, Arizona. And once I completed my MBA, the school was kind enough to give me a job. So I started working for Arizona State University. I was working in their corporate education division, wherein I was taking care of learning and development activities like Pooja ma'am. I was also doing learning and development. The only difference was I was doing it in America. I was actually doing training and development work both in American market and emerging countries. In 2018, I came back to India. Yeah, 2018, I came back to India and I started doing training independently. I've been associated with AITD, that is Amity Institute of Training and Development, for the past 3 years now. I'm also doing a PhD, like I'm on the verge of completion, of my PhD from Amity University itself. Pooja ma'am is also one of my teachers. And my PhD is in design thinking. It's like a problem-solving concept, and innovation is my area of specialization. And I really enjoyed being with all of you. And this
thank you.
Absolutely. And sir, just to mention, You know what sir was even asking about now.
Thank you.
I have three research scholars who have been awarded PhD under my guidance, and one of the topic of my research scholars who worked with me for 6 years was employee engagement. And this is the reason, I have been giving examples of how to, keep your people engaged. And sir, I will also be meeting you once again. I'll have the pleasure to meet you all for a session on understanding others on 9th of June. So till then, extremely thankful to all of you. आप सबने बहुत ही प्यार से ये सेशन आज करवाया, बहुत पार्टिसिपेट करा, और हंसते हंसते कब डिस्कशन हो गई, कब सेशन का टाइम खत्म हो गया, सीरियसली नहीं पता चला है. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Somadev, over to you.
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to thank Pooja ma'am and Arvind sir. It was a fantastic session, and I'm sure we will all agree that as an opening session, considering that this is the foundation for the CLMDP program, to all our commandants, the kind of the deliberations that we had, the narratives that were shared, the enthusiasm throughout the energy level was so fantastic, and it was so refreshing to see. And we hope that we can keep up this energy level throughout for the next 12 days. I mean, I'm sorry, apologies, I did not do a clear job in introducing you both, but now they are acquainted, I'm sure. Yeah, just a line, but I'm sure now they're very well acquainted. And Arvind sir and Pooja ma'am will of course be taking sessions later on as well, so we'll meet again, I'm sure. And as of course, like Pooja ma'am had said, that today was a foundational session. It's very important that we had this high energy, because now we will delve into the specifics of each talents, and we'll have sessions planned accordingly around it. So for tomorrow, like ma'am had said, that we are having 3 sessions under the set direction talent, which is thinking big picture impact you want to have and setting goals. I mean, we will start off tomorrow's session from 9:15 a.m. as was written to you. We have informed that to you on over WhatsApp as well. So from tomorrow, we'll have a voluntary meditation session from 9:15 by Dr. Neha Jainer. It will be every day till the 17th. It's a fantastic session. I would encourage each and every one of you to log in, to start off with a very relaxed mind, the program. So you can log in at 9:15 a.m. and we will start off officially with our sessions from 9:30 a.m. So thank you so much to everyone. Thank you, Pooja and Arvind.
Thank you, Somadev.
Yes.
And tomorrow's session, what Somadev is talking about is going to help us, manage our stress better and the pressures in life better. So please do log in. It's really going to be fantastic and an interesting session for all of you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And on the closing remarks, I would request Tanvi to please send the feedback form. Like I had said from the pre-commencement, we take it very seriously, your feedback. So please do provide feedback. We have provided the link of the feedback in the chat box here, as well as we'll be sending it to you on WhatsApp for convenience. So please, if any of your colleagues is not able to find it, or please do forward it to us. So it's here on the chat as well as on WhatsApp, sirs. And so thank you so much. Good evening and Jai Hind, sirs. I am going to leave this link open. You guys can please take some time to catch up. 10 more minutes will be open and you can catch up and fill the feedback. So I'll go off camera. So please feel free to catch up. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow, sirs.